Hello people, Uncle Roddus back again, and I forgot to grab another record cover that I need to show. I did not think that I would be making another video this year because I didn't have any money to spend on records, but my lovely wife gave me some more record vouchers for Christmas. I showed my last video was the ones I got for my birthday and other stuff that I had, and my sold my copper, my scrap metal, and bought some. But anyway, she gave me 3 vouchers for Christmas, and also she picked up a record that she bought. She went to the record shop and she asked Gary, who is one of the managers there, and Gary and I went to school together 40 plus years ago, and he's been in the industry that whole time since before we left school. Actually, he was working at a record shop while we were at school, and I have been buying records off him for over 40 years now. And anyway, she asked Gary if he could recommend a record for me for her to buy for me at Christmas, and he did. He made a fantastic recommendation. He recommended this. Now, I showed this last video because, unfortunately, I went to the gig, the reunion release gig. It was a release party reunion gig for this band, Barnard's Star, and this is what's playing behind me. And I picked up this vinyl, on blue vinyl, at the gig. So it was an inspired choice by Gary to recommend for Lynn to buy for me, but unfortunately I already had a copy, which makes it's very difficult for her to buy me stuff because quite often I might already have it. So anyway, Gary of course said, look, this, if he's already got it, just bring it back and we'll exchange it. So we went back today and we exchanged the one that this is my copy I bought at the gig, of course, and I spent the vouchers. So what I brought today is a copy of this, and I'm sure many of you will know what this is. So Frank Zappa's Shut Up and Play Your Guitar. Now, this is a New Zealand release from 1981. I don't know why it says 1982 on the Discogs site. It's got 1981 on the back here. Anyway, but yeah, this is the original New Zealand release. I used to have this on vinyl back in my earlier collection, and it was in a box set. So obviously it wasn't a New Zealand pressing, because I don't believe, well, on Discogs it doesn't show a New Zealand pressing in a box set. It only shows this one here. So the 3 records are just in this single flimsy sleeve. But anyway, the records are in beautifully mint condition. They play really well and it sounds fantastic. It's a great record, great set. So I picked that up, and also I had a look through the jazz bins, and I found this one. There was plenty more in the jazz bins I could have bought, but I didn't really have the funds to go splashing out too much, but just the vouchers. So Steve Tippett's Mark Anderson. This is a excellent ECM record from 1981, I believe. Doesn't actually say on the back here. Yeah, it was recorded in October 1981. Just the duo. This is really cool. Steve Tippett. This is the first record I've ever bought of his. The name was familiar. A bit of a reputation. So yeah, that's what I grabbed it. It was a good score. Those things on the cover are not rips. They actually are part of the artwork, which was I was a bit suspicious of, but it was, yeah. Kind of like a guitar solo record, this. It's really actually, and it's very good. So, also in the jazz bins, I found this, a nice Blue Note. You know, I love my Blue Notes. This is a reissue, not a recent reissue. This is the 1997 reissue. See, it says it was also mastered from the original analog tapes on 180 gram and audiophile pressing from 1997. So it's not one of the recent Bernie Grunman reissues. No, not Bernie. It's Ken Gray, wasn't it? That's doing all of them. Yeah, I think that's the one, isn't it? I'm thinking of Bernie. He's doing the Zappa ones. Anyway, yeah, this sounds pretty cool. And a great record. Thelonious Monk. I'm not a big Monk fan, but his playing on this is really good. I really like it. Horace Silver on here as well as J.J. Johnson, Art Blakey, and Paul Chambers. So big time band that he's playing with. Yeah, really cool. And I should take the price sticker off, shouldn't I? So yeah, that was cool. Always looking for Blue Notes. And then also I picked up another Blue Note. Now this actually had quite a good price tag on it, but I didn't pay that for it. It had the first price had been crossed out and they'd re-stickered it for $20 cheaper. And then Gary always gets me a good discount. I wondered, when I looked at the price, I wondered whether they thought this might have been an original Blue Note from when it was released, but I don't know. Surely not. It appears to be some kind of 70s reissue from what I can tell, looking on Discogs. It's got this label here that I don't know so much of the history, but that label there. I mean, this originally was 1957, I think, or somewhere around about there. Sounds fucking good though. I mean, it does. It sounds very good. And it's a great record. Unfortunately, I've already got a fucking copy of it. I should check my Discogs when I'm in the shop. I don't know why I didn't think I had this, but yeah, I've actually got one of the recent reissues of a copy of this. So, still, this does sound really good. I might do a comparison and see what it sounds like. I mean, there's no indication of the year that this was released. There's no indication of a remastering or anything like that. It's just this was whacked out. But like I say, looking on Discogs, it appears that this version is from around possibly 1977 or possibly earlier. I don't know. Also, finally, I picked this up. It's a reissue. Again, I don't know what year. On Discogs, I can't find what year it is. They had a bit too much on this too, but of course, again, I got it for, if I take the discount off that Gary always gives me, I got it a bit cheaper than I wouldn't have liked to have paid the price for it, because as I say, this is actually a new reissue, and it might not be that old a reissue, because I've seen copies of this reissued in JB Hi-Fi. And everything about it looks like it's very, very recent. It's in really good condition, except it's got two slight warps on it. And I was a bit disappointed about that, but when I put it on the turntable, clamped it and put the periphery ring on it, it played fine. So I can get away with that sort of stuff with just like that. They're not major warps. If I didn't have the periphery ring, it probably would have been an issue. And I didn't pay the face value for it. And finally, I'd paid for all of those records, used up all my vouchers, and then my wife was looking through the DVDs, as she does, yeah, and I gave her some money to buy some DVDs, and she was still looking. She hadn't got what she'd finished looking for what she wanted or whatever. So I went and had a look into $5 bins. I just was curious. And I mean, actually, one of the ex-staff members was there. He's in a couple of bands locally, and I was chatting to him, and we were looking through the bins. He was chucking out stuff. He was looking for stuff with unusual covers, because he does a cover art display at the library, which we saw later that day, actually, because we went to the library and we had a cup of coffee at the library's cafe, and this is where this display is, and he had all his Christmas albums up there. Anyway, I was just nonchalantly looking through the bins, but bugger me if I actually didn't find something. No, to be honest, I've been through those bins before, and I have found stuff before, and it's a lot of work because there's a lot of them, and most of it is just fodder. It is just the stuff that they don't sell much of, or it's in pretty rough condition. Most of it's stuff you would see in the op shops. A lot of it, well, slightly better stuff, but yeah. It's they actually drop it down to $2 a record every now and again, and try and clean out the bins. But it's the stuff that they get in, and it's not popular stuff. But sometimes it is worth looking because there is some interesting stuff turns up. And today I found these 3 of them, and this is the first one. And I knew about Broton music. This is a library records, a library label from the start. They were from the UK in the late 70s, and I know people collect these things. And I know there's other labels that do this sort of stuff too. And I've never heard any of them, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to give it a go because they were only like $5 each. And first one is a country folk one, and I think it was from 1980. They don't actually have the years on the back of them. They're a little bit tatty, but the covers are mostly intact. The vinyl actually looked quite good, and I put it through the cleaner before I played them, and they come up really nice looking, but there is quite a bit of surface noise on them, and yet they almost look like, apart from some very light scuffs on them, scratches on them, but that they don't actually seem to make much noise. It's just the whole surface area of the record itself is quite noisy. And I was wondering if this was an issue with their pressings back when they came out, because you would think that the stuff that's on these is music made for people to sample and use for advertising or movies or whatever. There are all sorts of things that they use it for, I believe. So I was quite surprised. Like I say, the vinyl looks beautiful, but it's quite noisy. Still, $5 a record. I bought them. So country folk, this one, and I was quite impressed with this. It was actually better than I thought. I was sort of under the impression that the ones that are really more collectible are the electronic ones, but I don't know. They cover a huge variety of types of music. There are a lot of releases on their website, on their Discogs. So I picked that one up. I picked this one up. Dear Old Dixieland. This is really good. I was really impressed with this one. Paris de Dance, Dear Old Dixieland. Most impressive, great background music, but actually if you sit and listen to it, it's quite good. I'm not a fan of Dixie jazz, but this is a modern variant of that sort of stuff, and I was quite impressed with that. Again, a little bit noisy. Unfortunately, probably could do with an ultrasonic clean actually, but I haven't got an ultrasonic cleaner. That may tidy it up a wee bit, but or it might be just a few plays might actually clean the grooves out. But I did give it a good vacuum clean. And the last one I scored is this one here. It's got a big rip-cross cover, so I've taped it up. Theme sets. This is the best of the bunch actually. This is kind of it says orchestral suites of differing treatments of basic themes. Each cue is written in sequence to facilitate editing. I reckon this is definitely the pick of the bunch. Most impressed. This is sort of music that, definitely for movies, perhaps. It's Ennio Morricone. This is the sort of thing, sort of down his way. And finally, the last one I picked up today out of the cheapie bins, Dan Hicks and his Hot Licks. And what's this called? Striking It Rich. It's quite hard to read that. This is a New Zealand pressing in very flimsy cardboard. I had to glue it up, but the record itself was in very, very good condition. not what I was expecting actually. Now I know Dan Hicks, he was part of the San Francisco scene back in the late '60s, wasn't he? The Summer of Love. He was kind of part of it because I knew his name because he was on the um, Nuggets compilation, the San Francisco Nuggets compilation that came out I got the CD box set. Oh, what's it called? I can't read it. I can see it from here, but I can't actually read the title of it, so I can't remember now. But anyway, they were on that from memory. But this is like this is like Texas folk Dixieland stuff, man. This is quite out of it. It's quite very well recorded, good recording, great recording, really well done. It was okay. I don't know. I might, a few more listens, I might get it to like it a bit more. But it wasn't what I was expecting, so it was quite different. But anyway, so they were quite cool scores in the cheapy bins. So I don't often look through them, but I have found stuff before that has been pretty cool in that. But normally I don't have time to sort of filter through that lot because there's a lot to look through for a little reward. As it's like going to op shops, a lot of time spent for a little reward, which I've never had much luck. But anyway, well, that's my lot. So I didn't think I'd be making another video before the end of the year. This is what is today? The 28th of December 2024. So yeah, New Year's Eve is only a couple of days away. The summer's holidays are racing by fast. The weather's been absolute crap. Today is one of the first days we've had that's been actually sunny. Tomorrow's supposed to be sunny. I might actually get my lawns done. So, all right, I'll leave you to it and catch you next time. And Happy New Year. Well, you probably won't see this until next year sometime. Okay, cheers.